John says, I built an application with AI in just one day. I said, wow, that is amazing. With AI, it is possible to make Luna look like a bullet. And I smiled and said, how will you scale your application if app user increases? He took a pause and said, I will increase the size of server. I said, obviously, don't you think it will raise the recurring cost of the server? Just as a side note, many of the developers and engineers do not even care about the cost that I'm sharing here. Let's assume John is smarter guy. John said, yeah, but that is what we can do to accommodate more load, isn't it? I smiled and said, guy, look, this is not the only way to manage more requests to the applications. There are a lot of different ways. You are smart enough, you should think more. And then he said, I need to dig down into the source code generated by AI and redesign it to match our load requirement. I said, this will cost you more. Definitely, it will cost you more. John was getting frustrated from my arguments, but at the same time, he was curious too. He said, no, we will redesign to reduce infrastructure cost. I argued again, no, you cannot. This will cost you more. I said, you are going to spend $20 on the petrol to go back and buy an apple that you forgot, to save $10 if you bought from your chosen brand. He literally smiled and realized what I am trying to convey. And this is the point. The point I want to emphasize here is start with the right direction in the mind and which only comes from mature engineering decisions. Hi, myself Kaushal Khokhar, founder and CEO of PyTech Solutions. Knowingly or unknowingly, developers do not care about recurring server cost and which is really important. They are happy to see things are working. And so are clients. They are also happy to see things are working. The real efforts lies in designing a software architecture in a way so that it can tolerate more request loads with the minimal cost and engineering efforts. Let me go to my blog page so that I can explain these things very easily. This post highlights the importance of designing a sustainable system in long run. People say my app works. My question is, will it survive with 10x user without 10x cost? The answer is yes, then definitely you should go with that. I have seen a software system that burns around $10,000 per month on AWS bills. Not because it was doing something revolutionary, not because traffic was insane, but just because poor engineering decisions. Yes, of course, this is harsh truth about software engineering. I completely agree that AI can speed up the development. In fact, we developed the nice case study which explains how we use AI to turn your raw ideas to working software in matter of days. If you really wanted to see the details and practical implementation, then definitely you read the entire case study. You will get amazed by the working. Yes, and this is real implementation that we use as a company. Point is not to highlight how to use AI here. Point is software built without in-depth engineering will die sooner or later, and this is true. Common mistakes we do as an engineer is ignore the minute details, and these are some minute details that we need to capture at the early stages while we build an application. It's not about patching the things, it's about real scaling. Where engineering depth actually wins, it wins where one start to think beyond functional working of the development. Real value comes from going deeper. That's where real diamond shines. Let me give you a practical example from our backend application. We use Redis as ACM to have a single point of contact for user permissions. So you can read this blog, which actually covers the engineering things behind using ACM. Again, this is not the point here. Let me get back to the point. Point is balance matters. We consciously do not over-engineering at early stage, don't block scaling for later. What I mean by that, at initial stage, product does not have that much of users. The requests are limited. So at that moment, we include ACM as the backend service itself. And later, once user base increases, demand raises, then we can create a standalone service for which is dedicated for the ACM itself. And this is where the early stage architectural decisions makes a huge impact. If you really want to know why Redis can reduce cost and improve performance, then definitely I will encourage you to go into this research paper. It covers the numbers too, which will make you amazed. Here it reduces response time by 63.78% on an average. This is amazing. Apart from that, it increases throughput by 32.84% as per this research paper. And that is why Redis can improve the performance of the system in tremendous way. But that is again not the point of this topic. It is not limited to use Redis or not. If someone says, let's say I want to use Redis in my service, in my backend architecture, then I will ask the question, what will be the data structure then? There are different data structures available. Which one you will use? Okay, now it's time to get me pull out of this technical things. Otherwise, you will get bored. And let's move to the closing notes to highlight the key takeaways of entire this journey. The lesson is simple. Design software architecture which is sustainable in long run. At the same time, it is important. Don't do over engineering at the beginning. This will cost you more. Move with the balanced perspective in the mind. Share your idea to me. I will help you design your system efficiently. Do it. It's very easy. Happy learning. Thanks for watching.